Hey everyone, Carl back with Littleroot Lessons, bringing you a deep dive featuring the requested Entei. Entei is a bulky fire type that is actually not really seen a lot of play. It saw more play, I think, in Series 7 than it did in Series 9, but it's starting to take a trend upwards. Remember that if you like what you see, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications for when new stuff goes live. We have videos going up every day. Make sure to comment down below who you want to see me cover. Friday, I currently have Alolan Marowak lined up to look at as well. So yeah, let's get right into Entei here. So Entei, one of the legendary dogs here, is a bulky fire type that looks to kind of just pressure opponents with its pretty good coverage and support move sets. Entei has access to moves like Snarl, Bulldoze, Extreme Speed, Scary Face, Leer, Will-O-Wisp. Significantly, it has access to the move Sacred Fire, which I don't believe was a normal thing up until Sword and Shield. Otherwise, I think it was an event move. So Sacred Fire is a damaging move that has a 50% chance to burn the target. So it's really, really good. If you combine that with Entei's ability Inner Focus, which means you're immune to Intimidate and Flinching, you are just very scary when it comes to the world of physical attackers. It also has a decent amount of coverage. You get moves like Stone Edge, Stomping Tantrum, Iron Head. I think it also maybe gets access to like Shadow Ball. It's weird. Entei's coverage is kind of all over the place, and it's mostly on the physical side, which is good for Entei. So Entei had a small presence since Series 7 started. Seen as a bulky fire type, people wanted to play a Sacred Fire and see how it felt and see what it did. And it was good in that early format for Series 7, which was very physical heavy. But as the format kind of developed, we saw Entei kind of fall away from being this oppressive fire type that has access to Sacred Fire. And we kind of saw it fall more into the realm of a support, Assault Vest, Shuka Berry kind of sets, which we kind of see now. It didn't really get much play in Series 8. It's been seeing a little bit more play as Series 9 has begun and we'll be getting into the format and developing. And I kind of wanted to make a note here that there's a notable Entei team from Players Cup 2. Juan Nar's Rain team had Entei on it, and Entei overperformed on that team. It was a very good Entei set, having access to Stone Edge and Sacred Fire and all these things that beat up the flying types and the steel types that Rain normally has a problem with without having to play like an electric type and stuff like that. So what does Entei like to play with? Entei notably has Bulldoze, so you have access to a fairly fast Bulldoze from a base 100 speed Entei, which is probably the benchmark for most Pokemon. 100 base speed is usually, oh, this thing is fast and actually can see play. Things like Regigigas are at a base 100 and stuff like that. Having that access to Bulldoze for Entei means that partners like Metagross are really, really good. Metagross is a little bit slower than Entei, but has the ability to clear body, so a weakness policy off of a Bulldoze hit means that everyone else is slower except Entei and your Metagross. So then your Metagross gets to go next, and you can do all your speed calcs and whatnot there. Other types of partners would be things like things to help keep Entei alive longer, things like Screens, Intimidate, Snarl, stuff like that. And like I mentioned earlier, it's a really good Rain team fire type. Those are very few and far between, notably the other one being Alolan Marowak. So when we get to that, we'll cover that. But Entei is just like kind of bulky, but not very bulky. And having access to partners like Grimmsnarl and Landorus Therian are good ideas to have. Rillaboom and Tapu Koko are also very good partners for Entei. There's been I know Carter built a Tapu Koko Entei team where it was Tapu Koko setting screens and Entei had Electric Seed to get a defense boost, so you became a little bit more bulky and you didn't completely get blown out by Landorus and all these other physical attackers back in Series 7. Rillaboom kind of does the same job. Rillaboom lowers the damage from Earthquake, Bulldoze, so you don't have to worry about that. And Grassy Seed can also give Entei a +1 defense boost. So he still gets to do that thing with Entei Coco kind of style, but Rillaboom offers a little bit of a different support, and notably both hit Entei's weakness of water. So looking at Entei's moves and items, they are very, very diverse. Sacred Fire is the most common move, to no one's surprise. It's really high damage output, 50% chance to burn is very, very good on a move. And from there, it kind of just trickles down. As we can see in the common items, AV is the most used item, so it makes sense that the next 3 moves below that are Snarl, Extreme Speed, and Bulldoze. Stone Edge is the one that you see from the rain teams, and that's kind of picked up in other places. Protect is used for the Shukaberry sets and anything else like Life Orb, Safety Goggles, Lum, stuff like that. There's also these more supporty sets with Will-O-Wisp and Helping Hand. Stomping Tantrum's kind of there, but you also have access, like I said, Bulldoze is really, really good. And Flare Blitz is on there at 5%. I'm not sure why people are running Flare Blitz on their Enteis. I would much rather run Sacred Fire. Yes, you fight with that chance to miss, but it's having the chance to burn is just huge. Looking at the items, Assault Vest, again, #1 item. Shukaberry is probably the second best item. Safety Goggles is not something I've seen on Entei in quite a while, but it ticks up. It's like Incineroar kind of, where Amoonguss is really, when Amoonguss is popular, Safety Goggles on Incineroar is popular. Kind of fits that same bill. Safety Goggles on Entei would do the same kind of thing. Also means you're a very good answer to Sun, like Venusaur and stuff like that, so maybe something to think about if you need a Sun answer. Other items, Lumberry, Life Orb, Citrus Berry, these are all one-offs, usually 2-offs. You don't see them very often. The last 2 here, Scarf and Band. I'll get to Scarf. I have a cool Scarf set that someone was talking about, and I remember hearing it, so I kind of made up a set for it. And then Choice Band is super interesting as well. So these move sets here, let's talk about this for a minute. So the first set is the common Entei. I literally took the common EV spread, I took the first 4 moves, I took the Assault Vest, slapped it all together. This is what Entei is most of the time. You won't see any kind of weird thing out of Entei usually. This is the standard. The second set's a little bit more uncommon. Since it's Shukaberry, you don't have to run all 4 damaging moves. This one specifically isn't looking to proc a weakness policy, it's looking to do Sacred Fire, Extreme Speed things, and just be a Snarl bot. So you're looking to burn, reduce special attack, and pick up KOs when your partner Pokemon gets there. The last set's cute. I'm not sure how good this actually is, but Eruption, Choice Scarf Eruption is very, very powerful. If you put this next to anything that can set Sun before Entei can attack, or maybe even just like have opposing Sun, Entei can go Choice Scarf Eruption and blow up Venusaur, blow up anything in front of it really. And you still get that utility. You can do fast Snarls, you can do fast Leers if you have physical attackers on your team. You also have fast Will-O-Wisp for things like Justified Beat Up that can be a problem. So if the Eruption Span isn't good, this set still actually has utility on a team. It's just not going to be like other Entei sets. As we mentioned before, it can be strong bulky support for a team that wants or needs it, or it could be a strong physical attacker that can fight through Intimidate and neuter other physical opponents with burns, be a Sacred Fire or Will-O-Wisp. So you kind of want to make sure that you have that Entei fits on your team. Entei is not a slot-in fire type like Incineroar is. It's more of, oh, I need something that has access that can do burns. I need something that can Snarl. I need something that can lower speed with Bulldoze. It's very unique in what it does. You want to play teammates that can keep Entei alive. Like I mentioned earlier, Grimmsnarl is very good at this. Landorus, Therian. Other flying types are switching on ground moves. Celesteal is a really good option for Entei, since it's neutral to rock and immune to ground. And water is kind of scary for Entei. It's hard to actually have Entei stand up in front of a Tapu Fini and do something. So having Regieleki or Rillaboom or Tapu Koko, like we mentioned earlier, can help remedy this Tapu Fini problem that Entei normally has. Back on the beating Entei, water types. Water types are very, very good against Entei. Entei may be the good fire type on rain teams, but it struggles against opposing rain teams. Entei notably is actually really good against Sun though. So if you're playing a Sun team, try not to set up Sun for Entei unless you absolutely need it. And Entei isn't, like I said, is bulky, but isn't very bulky. Isn't bulky at the same time. It's a weird thing. Like if they get screens in front of Entei, Entei gets to do its thing and it's cool. But if Entei gets doubled in on before anybody gets to like set up for it, Entei just goes down. So things like that, just doubling up on it, having good weaknesses, is really, really good. Also, if it's a physical offensive Entei, Baby Doll Eyes, Charm, Max Wormwind, things that just lower its attack is also very, very good. So what have we learned about Entei today? Entei is very flexible, prefers to be on that bulky offensive side, but as I showed earlier, you can play weird sets like Scarp Eruption and do other weird things with it. Doubling into Entei is usually your best bet. Some kind of super effective move plus a cleanup move that's neutral hitting afterwards will normally pick up Entei a lot of the time. And between its bulk and base 100 speed, it's likely going to start trending upward as players figure out and try to look for bulkier fire types that just aren't Incineroar. Incineroar has already started to see a drop in play, and people are going to be looking for fire types to fight Celesteela with. And with that being said, I want to thank everyone for hanging out and listening to me ramble about Entei for a while. Remember to check us out on Twitter. All the Twitter handles are on screen right now. Make sure to check out the Discord, links in the description down below for that. We have events running. We have an event Saturday, and then we have an event next Saturday. So there's a lot of weekend events coming up for people who are interested in playing VGC Best of 3 on cart. And remember to subscribe, hit that bell, ring the bell. Definitely ring the bell. Super important to ring that bell. And outside of that, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever in the world, and we will see you on Friday. Bye, guys.